Really quick before we get into this video, this is a part 2 to a previous video with a lot of information that this video will heavily rely on. I recommend going back and watching that first video to make sure you have all the context you need for this one. Guys, I'm not joking when I say I have no idea how this is even possible, but the Orespawn drama is even worse than I realized, like a lot worse. As surprising as it may seem, I've somehow managed to uncover even more we didn't previously discuss with Richard Clark, also known as They Call Me Danger, as well as some information on many of the previous members of his development teams. Along with this, we'll also cover some points made by others in the comments section of part 1. A massive credit for this portion goes to Ya, who reached out to me after my previous video. I actually did manage to speak to Katara a little bit, however it's possible I may find out more from them in the future, as they're a pretty busy person and their time to work on this project has been pretty limited. To begin, the drama of Orespawn actually predates just the Katara-related drama. We can trace it all the way back to 2019 when Minecraft saw a massive resurgence due to PewDiePie starting a Minecraft series. This also led to people who used to play Orespawn going back and asking Danger about its status. Of course, at this time was when the downloads for Orespawn were completely offline and not available. I was given some screenshots of YouTube comments from Richard's videos that I actually didn't originally see. These are by no means surprising, but do give us a better look into what the start of this spiral for Danger looked like. He starts by responding to someone saying he refuses to sell his soul to Microsoft, who he equates to the devil. Honestly, he's not entirely wrong about this, but it's funny nonetheless. In his following responses, he primarily talks about how modern Minecraft, specifically citing 1.12, was an unstable mess. However, in one comment, he specifically mentions how they keep changing the APIs for modding. In Java programming, these are typically referred to as interfaces. However, this seems to be Danger misplacing part of his blame here. While yes, some core interfaces of Minecraft were changed, especially in 1.8 when items and blocks, as well as some other mechanics, now each had to have their own JSON file containing information in regards to things like models and textures, which does add a level of complexity that wasn't in versions like 1.6.4. Many of the API changes are actually a result of changes to the Forge API, not ones put in place by a now Microsoft-owned Mojang. Danger does go on to claim 1.6.4 was the best version for modding. He also mentions he will be busy in the coming months due to him moving, as well as him citing that his son was starting high school. Richard was also talking about wanting to teach his son coding. The last comment cited is him saying that once Minecraft becomes, quote, community property again, he'll reconsider his decision. I feel like it's important for me to add here that I don't personally think Danger is completely wrong here. I do actually have some personal modding experience with Minecraft, but most of it is post 1.8, and Forge is pretty much a hot dumpster fire at this point, so if I ever do make a mod again, I will be exclusively developing for Fabric, and that drama could be a whole video on its own. Moving on, as the issue of Richard not wanting to update Orespawn to 1.12 continued, this is when other developers began to step in and take their stab at it. This is when a fan-made port known as Insanity Craft began development, a port I was actually unaware of before this. They did not get very far into development, primarily basic blocks, items, tools, and armor. This was, of course, before Danger caught wind of their existence. Richard took some extreme actions against this, threatening legal action, claiming they were taking someone else's work and modifying it without their permission. The biggest issue with this was the fact that some of the Insanity Craft devs were under 18. According to Biker Bones, one of the Insanity Craft developers, Danger, quote, basically pitched a fit about the artwork, and claimed his daughter made the textures. The main issue here is, however, that Insanity Craft was 100% original code, and all of the artwork was also completely original. All the while, Richard continued to get more and more comments asking for an Orespawn update, leading to him getting more frustrated. It got so bad, he eventually had to disable comments on some videos. I'm gonna say now that if you were one of those people who harassed Richard about an Orespawn update with this level of hostility, you're absolutely not innocent in this situation and everything that's happened here. Just saying. He responded to this with another comment stating, yeah, it's sure true, but Richard is utilizing Mojang as a sense of advertisement for his discontinued Orespawn mod to gain these players to play his game. Correction. I'm using Orespawn as help to advertise my game. I wrote it, I earned it. Nothing wrong with that. And you know, I'm 60 years old, I have exactly $0 in retirement. Do you really have a problem with me trying to make a couple bucks before I'm too old and have to sleep on the street? Bugger off already, sheesh. I'm taking Orespawn into VR and hoping to make some money there. Perhaps I'll take it into Android and iPhone land too. The point is that it's mine and I gain absolutely nothing from updating it into the latest version of Minecraft. Not gonna happen. I've put a massive amount of work into Orespawn, now it's time for it to help me not starve to death. Get over it. This was subsequently followed by his announcement video in July of 2020 that he would be seeking developers to help update Orespawn to 1.12, finally caving to the comments asking him to. As mentioned in the previous video, the stipulation is that he would have to charge for the mod around $5 to access the premium club version, which would contain things like private chat access, early mod access, and exclusive features Danger believed, quote, should not be given to Microsoft. Danger's first real troubles with this started when he later claimed he would need roughly $75,000 to fund the Orespawn update. To achieve this, Danger actually started a GoFundMe page with a goal of the same value. Obviously, many fans were displeased with this, however, some did donate, amounts ranging from $5 to $100 typically, with high hopes that Orespawn would be available for newer versions in the near future. After a few days of the GoFundMe being up, with barely any donations received, Danger lowered the goal to $45,000, which is still an absurd amount of money to update a Minecraft mod that's already had free fan remakes in the works. However, Danger didn't lower the amount of money because he felt like $75,000 was necessary. No, he lowered it because, and I quote, people are being stingy with their money. Around this time, following the disaster that was Richard's GoFundMe fundraiser, the new official Orespawn Discord server was created. I touched on this briefly in a previous video, but I did not have nearly the level of information access that I do now. Most of the drama surrounding this Discord server came from two individuals, one known as YZ the Demon and one known as Canara the Great. And just to clarify as well, Canara and Katara are not the same person. This was also around the same time that Katara actually started their original port of Orespawn, which at the time was actually called Danger Zone, obviously in reference to Richard's game. For context, as far as I'm aware, this was later renamed to something like Craft Zone before eventually getting renamed to Adventure Craft, which I mentioned in part 1. As frustrating as this was for Clark and the Orespawn dev team, legally speaking, the Danger Zone mod team was not technically in the wrong, as it was completely original code. This was when the decision was made that anyone supporting the Danger Zone mod port by Katara would be banned from the official Orespawn Discord server without any second thought. Another piece of information I'd like to clarify really fast is when Richard Clark took the original downloads for 1.6 and 1.7 offline. This was because he believed the new Minecraft EULA would allow Mojang and Microsoft to take content of his game and implement it into Minecraft without any form of credit. While yes, technically, the updated EULA would allow them to do this, I highly doubt Mojang would have any interest in adding Mobzilla into vanilla Minecraft. This led Richard's supporters, primarily YZ, to encourage everyone on the Discord server to do what they can do to take down any available versions of the mod, including mass reporting websites like 9Minecraft and Eternos, which hosted mod packs containing Orespawn. These attempts did ultimately fail, but it was clear their intention was to wipe the old Orespawn downloads off the map. This did even lead to YZ asking people to make several Eternos accounts in an attempt to try and take the entire site down. This, of course, failed. After a few months, Danger did eventually give in and put the download links back online. As we covered in the previous video though, this didn't last very long. When development versions of the Minecraft Orespawn update began, Richard knew he couldn't completely paywall the mod, as that was at this point also against Minecraft's EULA. To get around this, Richard would leave the royalty, primarily the king, the queen, their designated structures, as well as the prince and princess pets only in the development releases of the Orespawn update, which he did paywall, meaning users would be able to gain access to some features for free, for example something like Big Bertha, but not the full mod unless they paid the $5 to gain access. This was, of course, until Katara leaked this build in their own Discord server. This was a major tipping point for Danger, being when he released the video asking for information on Katara in an attempt to dox him. In my previous video, I mentioned that this seemed like a doxing attempt, but I had no real official confirmation. Well, according to Ya, Richard openly used the term dox in reference to Katara, before backtracking and saying he, quote, wasn't doxing by the dictionary definition. However, this is, as far as I've been made aware, a flat-out lie. According to Katara himself, Danger and the members of his Discord leaked Katara's real address, email, and public personal Facebook profile, but claimed they didn't actually dox anyone because it was all public information. I didn't originally include this message in the video, primarily because it was late in the production of episode 1, as well as the fact that I wanted to gather more information on backstory in regards to this, especially from different perspectives than what one person would have been able to give me. Following this video being taken off the website, Danger's Discord account was actually terminated by Discord's safety team, which I believe should be for obvious reasons. He did make an alt account to continue working within his Discord server though. It was also around this time that YZ was actually fired from the project due to starting too much drama. He was not actually heard from again after this happened. This is now around the time when Richard's original Discord rant was posted to his website. This was actually due to the Discord safety team terminating not only his account, but the entire Orespawn Discord server. Allegedly, following this event, Danger fired all of his old development team. I'm not able to corroborate this, but I was provided this screenshot. This is when the 3 different Discords were created, the first dying after only 6 days as allegations started popping up that Canera, one of the admins of the server, had been sending NSFW content to minors. I'm not joking, how does this keep getting worse, dude? Anyway, Danger, in an attempt to save the situation, tried to pin the blame on Katara. Canera then posted a link to a doctored screenshot of Katara sending NSFW content to a Discord user. This was confirmed to be fake due to the corner of the image being sharp rather than the curve that Discord renders images with typically. In early January 2021, Canera announced that anyone who was supporting Katara and their port of the Orespawn mod would be immediately banned, stating, if you support Kat in any way, you will be banned from all Orespawn servers. I suggest you stay on the right side or goodbye. Danger updated the Orespawn website to now have 3 Discord servers once again, with rules including never questioning mods. He also added a 4th Discord server known as the White Knights of Orespawn. Not only did I not even know that this server existed, I was actually given access to it by Ya. Before we continue our even deeper dive into this, I'd like to take a moment to ask you to subscribe to my channel and like this video if you're enjoying it so far. The support on my channel has been absolutely insane since the last video, and I really can't thank you guys enough. Anyway, let's get back into it. This White Knight server was created to try and get Katara's port mod cancelled completely. Along with this, inside the Discord was a link to another Discord known as the Dead Rose Project, with the goal of gathering as much dirt on Katara as possible. According to Ya, most of their evidence was a pretty big stretch and didn't really lead to anything. For example, they claimed Katara stole an emerald pickaxe texture. I can't say for sure, but here they are side by side. Let me know in the comments if you think this was stolen. The one on the left is the original, and the one on the right is the one from Katara's mod, I believe. This did actually finally hit a breaking point. Canera announced they were quitting Discord completely, primarily due to the drama that was happening at the time. This led to the deletion of Canera's Orespawn Discord server, leaving only 2 active servers for Orespawn once again. However, this ended up partially being a lie, and Canera continued to be active on Discord following this. Upon updating the Orespawn webpage to remove the now deleted server, this is also when Danger added the page on how to properly and easily win against the bad guys, asking users to make alternate Discord accounts to raid Katara's server. Hey everyone, Editor Connor here. I want to add some more information I received after the rest of the video was recorded due to it happening around the same time. Katara got me in contact with another person, Etheria Capre, apologies if this is not pronounced correctly. Etheria Capre, who I'll refer to as Pear, ran a Towny Earth server that used Orespawn and called it Lad Earth. The server started in 2020, sometime around October. Following its creation, Canera began endorsing it as the official Orespawn Minecraft server without Danger's permission. Around a week after this, according to Pear, Canera then sporadically banned around 80% of the server's members, and according to Pear, essentially threw them under the bus. Pear managed to get the Townie project going again eventually, and then around January of 2021, similar in vein to Canera, Katara also mass banned several members from their server, which Pear says Katara will openly admit to. However, this was nowhere near the same degree as what Canera did. Danger officially made Pear's server part of the Orespawn server list on the website, which we can actually see in the Orespawn website archives. That following summer, Pear decided to update the server to 1.16, and an argument began on whether they should use Chaos Awakens or AdventureCraft, which at the time was still referred to as Craft Zone. Pear decided to put it to a vote. Another user, known as Random, who I believe may be the same person as Lewis Randomness, tried to rig the vote in favor of Chaos Awakens. The reason this was such a controversial issue is Lewis Randomness is one of the authors of Chaos Awakens. Eventually, they decided to just have both mods available on the server, which Random hated. Katara actually liked this decision and began to participate in the server as well. Pear followed this by also mentioning they were one of the texture artists for both Craft Zone and Chaos Awakens. However, Chaos Awakens then banned Pear from their own Discord community, with their reasoning being that they were working with Katara. Pear eventually distanced themselves from the Ladd Earth project, and got in contact with another user for me known as Sacrium. What I have here is only a short message from them, but I may get more information in the future. According to Sacrium, they only had a few conversations with Danger and stated that talking to mods in the server was actually quite difficult. One in particular was extra hard to work with and even sent nude photos to Sacrium in an attempt to harass them. Danger, of course, defended this mod, including what Sacrium describes as goose hunts to get people off her tail. All of this was in spite of Sacrium being a donor to the Orespawn project, giving over $25, which was 5 times the average at the time, and even then, Sacrium was still banned for talking to Katara. Personally, I believe that this mod may be Canera, however that hasn't been confirmed by Sacrium for me yet, but I may include that in a future part 3 if I end up with enough information to make one. I'm going to transition here by reading a quote from Ya verbatim. Nobody in this entire situation was entirely in the right. Danger made a lot of bad decisions, but Katara of the Danger Zone mod also made some poor decisions. Danger was basically forced to work on a project he didn't want to work on by thousands of demanding fans, and the extreme choices were to be expected. Danger let greed consume his causes, threatening longtime fans and scaring away new ones. The direction the Orespawn name has been taking has not been an easy one, and the future of the mod on Minecraft is very dark at this point. Moving on, let's take a look and go over some things I saw people mention in the comments of part 1 that I believe should be addressed, or things that I found interesting. One really quick one I saw a lot of people talking about was referring to Katara as her, but I think this is really just because of the screen name Katara. According to Discord bios, Katara uses he, him, or they, them pronouns. Not really an issue, I just figured it could help for the sake of context in some situations. Along with this, I saw an astounding number of people comparing Danger to Terry Davis, the creator of Temple OS, who struggled with mental health issues for most of his life and was, well, incredibly deranged. I don't think this was a completely false assumption, but I also don't think they're identical. For one, Danger doesn't seem to have any kind of paranoia disorder like schizophrenia. While I'm not by no means a psychologist or a psychoanalyst of any kind, I believe Clark suffers from narcissism or even narcissistic personality disorder to a pretty intense degree, especially in certain instances. His belief that everyone and everything is out to steal his mod seems to show that, especially in his unjustified belief that Mojang and Minecraft devs are going to steal the content of his mod. As absurd as I find this situation and Danger's behavior, I do sincerely hope he seeks the help that he so desperately needs. Many people also commented on the fact that Danger recommended users to switch to Linux. This is, somewhat surprisingly, something I actually 100% agree with Danger on. Microsoft Windows, especially Windows 11, does not care about your privacy at all, and is significantly more resource demanding than Linux. If you're technically knowledgeable enough to use Linux, I highly recommend you do so. I personally dual boot Linux, specifically Endeavour OS and Windows 11. This is because I use Premiere Pro to edit my videos currently, which does not support Linux at the moment. I do, however, find it interesting that Richard pushes Danger Zone and Linux due to their open source nature, but then gets angry when others try to use or remake or modify the content of his mod and game. I also had a couple people mention I should cite my sources for the video, and I absolutely agree with them. I originally intended to when I uploaded, but forgot while I was in the process of uploading the video. I've gone back to part 1, and I've added a link to a document with all of my sources cited. They're also in APA format because I'm cool like that, and I don't want to be like some other YouTubers. This video will also have sources linked in the description below as well for anything else I may have mentioned. However, most of what is mentioned here deserves specific credit to ya, as this video would have been impossible without this level of information they gave me. I'd also like to thank Katara, as they also provided me with lots of information that was useful to this video. Moving on, I had some people ask about safe ways to download Orespawn for Minecraft now, or alternatives. By far the best I can recommend is Chaos Awakens, which I'll leave a link in the description for as well. It's currently available only up to 1.16, but they do have plans to update it to newer versions once the mod is a little bit more stable. I don't recommend finding a download to the original Orespawn mod, as many websites that host it now contain malicious ads and could contain malicious modified copies of the mod itself. Finally, I want to end this off by asking all of you your personal stories with Orespawn. Did you watch Crazycraft videos as a kid? Did you ever have experiences playing with Orespawn in any way? Maybe you even had experiences with Danger himself in one of his Discord servers. Let me know in the comments. I really love hearing about how this mod has impacted you guys and what conclusions you've drawn from yourselves about these videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Oh, you're still here? Cool. I just wanted to let you know I have a Ko-Fi page that you can support me directly from. 100% of this revenue goes directly to creators when you use Ko-Fi. I don't currently have membership tiers of any kind, but if it's something you guys are interested in, let me know. It could be things like an exclusive Discord server, early access to videos, or things like that. Let me know and I'll look into making it as worth it and as awesome as I can for you guys. And no, I'm not going to charge you $5 for early access to a decade-old mod.